Hi everyone, Kelt here, bringing you number 12 in my new series of questions about the Harkles, where I go back into my older videos and try and fill in on various points. This is for all my new subscribers who probably don't know about a lot of the history and the details around it, and also very much requested by many of my old subscribers who like to go back over some of the historical info. Well, one subject a lot of you wanted me to talk about was the subject of Meghan taking photographs at Kensington Palace. I believe this was not one event. She was caught twice. The first time was in the very early days before she and Harry were engaged, and it was when she was staying at Nottingham Cottage with him, very much under the radar at the time. She was travelling between Toronto and London, and she and Harry had a very much long-distance relationship in those early days. And I understand that she was caught by staff who alerted Prince Charles after seeing her either on security camera or they actually saw her taking photographs of various private areas in Kensington Palace of valuable artefacts. It was said that it was with a view to sell, and I believe it was the photographs she intended to sell, although there has been a rumour saying that she was going to sell whatever artefacts she found. I don't see how that would be possible, but that was a rumour. I was always under the impression that it was the photos that were to be sold, but that information would make much more sense with regard to the second incident, which I'll talk about in a minute. She also was sending those photos via her phone to her best friend Jessica Mulroney and saying, "Guess where I am," allegedly. After this first incident, she was sent back to Canada by Prince Charles. The second incident, where she was actually caught red-handed, was not long after she had met Catherine and William, and she apparently got caught by William, who had been alerted by their nanny, Maria, as Meghan had been taking photographs on her phone of Charlotte while she slept in her bed. William was understandably furious, and obviously Catherine, as any mother would. She was completely shocked, and they both developed an intense distrust of Meghan after this. Nothing was done at that time. She was not sent away, but she was monitored closely. This was when it appeared to the public that Meghan was making one gaffe after the other, and the royals seemed to be on her case all the time. She seemed to be quite restricted. Is there any wonder why? Although the Queen again appeared to be doing nothing. What followed was that Meghan was called to a meeting about her royal work, which she did not attend. The palace aides told the Queen, who was not happy, and the Queen called for a meeting with Meghan, and Meghan refused, saying that she had a prior engagement. This is not something you do to the Queen. The palace aides knew that Meghan was going to attend a meeting and informed the Queen, who instructed them to cancel this meeting under order of the Queen. So they did this, and when Meghan arrived at this meeting, which was important to her, there was no one there. Meghan was apparently furious, and her grudge towards the Queen developed from that time. She had lost control and hated it, realised that the Queen was the one in control. The taking of photographs of a child without the parents' permission, who just happens to be in line to the throne and in her bedroom asleep, is unheard of and shocking for everyone, and it was the ultimate concern. It was always in the back of their minds what she was capable of. I just point out here that Meghan had apparently also been making cookies and giving them to the Cambridge children. I think this was later after they had married. Whether it was without the Cambridge's knowledge, I don't know, but I imagine the children would say, "Auntie Meghan's given us cookies." But it might have been innocent, or maybe just a way to get the children to like her. Is it any wonder that Catherine and William wanted to keep well away from her? Well, back to the power struggle with the Queen. It has been said that Meghan was sent packing and that Sophie and Edward were flying to New York for various events, and were instructed to make sure that Meghan was on the plane and landed in New York. However, the Wessex's trip to New York was 2022, so that is several years later. I was also told that Meghan definitely was on that plane with the Wessexes. And Meghan was supposed to have children at that time, and there was no report of any children seen at either airport leaving nor arriving with her. So this time it seems she wasn't sent away right after the bedroom photo incident, but after a few years of incidents culminating in the persistent rebelling and pushing against the Queen, and the refusal to attend the meeting with the Queen was the final straw. Some have said, why was this not brought up at the Oprah interview when Meghan was complaining about her treatment by the royals? Obviously, it would not be brought up because it would paint her in a very bad light, because Oprah would have been sure to have asked the reasons why she had been sent away, and it would point eventually to the deep reason, which was the concerns for the Cambridge children. I'm not sure of the timeline, but the fact that many of us remember that Meghan was overheard saying to friends at a social event that she and Harry were just one plane crash away from the throne. This must have been a contributing factor in the Queen's decision. So the timeline is not clear, but I understand the events happened and that there were two separate incidents where she was caught taking photos. So to summarise, the first was when she was only just dating Harry, lived in Toronto and hadn't yet met William and Catherine, and it was taking pictures in the main palace of antiques. And the second was when she had not long met them and was invited over for dinner and was discovered in Charlotte's bedroom taking photographs of her sleeping. I'm not 100% certain on this as regards the timeline, but it's making more sense than it being one event. So it seems to me that the first time she was sent back to Toronto by Charles for taking photos of items in the main palace, and the second time was for taking photos of royal children in William and Catherine's apartment at Kensington Palace. It's possible it all happened around the same time during that first time she visited, and if there's any information out there proving this, then I would happily accept that I'm wrong in my assumption. This is the culmination of quite a bit of research, and I may be wrong with some of it, especially the timing, but in general, I think it gives an idea of the absolute brazen behaviour of Meghan and how concerning it must have been for those around her, and especially William and Catherine. So let me have your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.